had a player for the Raiders that used to say, you got to get your mind right. Got to get your mind right. And it's when your mind wanders is at that point in time that you have the choice to get it back, to take back control. Are you going to let your mind and body go on autopilot and just go through the motions? Or are you going to get back in the driver's seat and control what's going on here? And that lesson, that moment in time when you begin to wander is a critical step for performance, because it's the guys that repeatedly recollect themselves, get back in that driver's seat. Those are the ones those are the guys that are the MVP, Super Bowl winning, gold medal winning champions.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that have, because what that's doing is it's expanding your capacity to mentally control, to have discipline, to have focus, to be able to be in your situation now. And to me, there's nothing better to test that than what we do out here.
Huh.
I mean,
I never thought of it that way. That's really good.
It's a test.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a battle you have to fight with your mind, because your brain is not your friend. And you have to get back in that driver's seat and tell it what you need it done. And if you don't tell it and direct it, it's gonna fall back into laziness, into the path of least resistance. And we have to step in and push through it, and push through that pain, push through that boringness, push through the monotony of doing hundreds of lunges, the monotony of doing these exercises. And to me, that lesson is a lesson that nobody understands.
Yep.
Nobody understands that. And that is probably one of the more powerful components of developing mental toughness, is that right there.
Yeah.
The choice that you have to make at that very moment
Yeah.
to stay in and stay with that rep.
So good. I always talk to my kids about we're going to be undefeated from the neck up.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we're doing, whether it's schoolwork or training or a game, I want them undefeated from the neck up. I want them to be able to hang in there just longer than anyone else.
And it doesn't mean you're not going to fail.
Right.
Being undefeated from the neck up does not mean you're not going to fail. And that's the great thing about it, is that our kids are at this age where they're struggling with failure. It's this what's the outcome that I don't like. Like, my kids hate to lose.
Yeah.
They don't like to be second.
Yeah.
And my kid will cut in line. I'm like, every day I have to tell him, it says, that's just not socially acceptable. But he's like, I want to be first. He wants to get on the bus first, whatever. And so, but it's that going through these, playing sport, that teaches us that we have to get back up. We have to try it again. We have to do it again and again, because you don't get good. You don't become great. You don't become the best in the world by not doing it over, not failing and not doing it over and over and over and again, and not getting the feedback to improve along the way, so that we're constantly going like this, and these little perturbations are the failures, but we're always getting better, always. And that at that moment, in that rep where my mind's wandering, boom, I got a dip. When I get back in the driver's seat, all right, I'm going to recorrect.
Okay.
So it's this auto correction that I'm creating by doing that. And it happens out on the field. Your mind wanders, boom, get back. It's like flipping a switch.
Got it.
You're teaching yourself to flip the switch every time you recorrect.
That's great.
And in the lunges, we talk about lunges. One thing that I do in addition to all this stuff in the workout is, you'll see, is these lunges. And the lunges with my pro guys, we do a ton of lunges.
Yeah.
Lunges to where it's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
We do that many lunges.
I remember first time I worked with you, I go, dude, I can't sit on the toilet. How many more lunges can I do?
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many guys will complain about the lunges. It's like there's a purpose, but when the season starts, they're like, thanks for those lunges. They do, and it's like clockwork. It's like, it's coming.
Yeah.
You'll thank me later, and they always do.
Yeah.
Special ops guys that I've been around in the Air Force, the combat controllers, they're a unique group, but they have this saying. The officers would say it's the feel good. Like, they like to caveat this in a very positive way. It's like when things get tough and they're in a really bad situation, they call it the feel good. But the guys that are actually in it, and that they're in that grind, they call it the suck it the fuck up. and they say, I got to take a little shot of suck it the fuck up, or boy, today I need a tall glass of suck it the fuck up. and that's how they speak about it, because you're in that moment, and it's tough, and you don't know if you can make that next step. You just really don't know.
Yeah.
But the reality is, and this is the thing about potential, is like everybody can do so much more than we even think that we can do. And it isn't until we butt up against that edge that we were talking about earlier that we realize that, we can actually go beyond that edge. And once we go beyond that edge once, we can do it again and again and again. And next thing you know, we're reaching heights and doing things that we never thought we'd ever be able to do before. And that's, I think potential, from a potential perspective, is that we think that we can reach here. And we think that that's the top of the mountain, but we don't understand that there's all these clouds here, and the peak is way up here.
Like a false summit.
It's like a false summit.
Yeah.
And so it's 100% of every athlete I have ever worked with thinks that their potential's here, and they don't realize that they could go here. 100%. 100% of every performer I've ever worked with. Entertainer, businessman, executive, 100%. And it's amazing. And then this work helps break through those barriers, gives you the confidence, gives you that energy and the capacity to be able to make that next step.
Got it.
For years to come.
Yeah. It's very cool. It's awesome. Great work, Tim.